It's time for Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city joined forces. Vinny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday evening. Cats Talk Wednesday. Terry TB Brown, T Brown _80. The legend himself is here. Vinny Hardy. Another episode of Cats Talk Wednesday. We coming in short and sweet, TB, because you know the years we've been doing this. Sometimes there's some games that coincide with us being on, and tonight, the fight Roy Wood Juniors, the FAMU Rattlers, are coming to Rupp. And
are they bringing the band? That's the thing. Bring the band. Let them come and do a little something.
That's right.
I'm a FAMU. Bring the band, man.
Yes. So we coming short and sweet. We're gonna get in, get out, and watch the game this week and next week because conference play starts next week with Missouri. And you know, we licking those UCLA wounds. It was a little rough weekend up there in the NYC. Didn't go like everybody had hoped, and still trying to get the groove back when you're playing a good team, basically.
Yeah. There's a lot of work to do, but I still feel that there are pieces there. But I, like everybody else, I'm disappointed with the loss. But you have to keep it in perspective. I people always take it a step too far, right? They always go a beat too far with it. And, again, I understand the disappointment. What really got me was UCLA didn't play that well.
True.
I mean, that was a game that no one really won. We just lost it more than they lost it. I mean, both teams were playing. This was not UCLA of Walton and Lou Alcindor. This was not a great Kentucky team. So it was one of those things. Yeah, it was one of those things like, it's always special when Kentucky and UCLA play, right?
Mm-hmm.
1-2 champions. But I don't know. The offense, it's just not, there's not enough movement. And when Kentucky was at its best, Lance Ware was out there because Lance Ware moves.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody is easily guarded if they don't move. And when you're stationary, I mean, if he gonna stand still, I could guard Michael Jordan. I mean, that limits all the options if you're not moving. So that's got to be the tweak. That's got to be what we're working on. Lance Ware needs run. Chris Livingston needs run.
Yeah, he wasn't afraid. He was aggressive.
Right.
My Lord, I can't believe we're at this point. I mean, because we've seen incremental, gradual progress come. The roller coaster going up the hill, and Toppin is kind of not. I'm not saying he's going to be. Oh man, I don't want to say be John Wall. I'm not saying be PJ Washington, but I thought maybe it's just put it all together. But still passing up shots, still not being aggressive. There was a game against a no-name team. He was kind of on the secondary break. They kicked it to him, and he let it fly. Missed the shot, but I was like, "Oh, no hesitation on the three." I'm glad to see that. And now we're kind of back to
with Toppin,
whatever you want to call it.
He's physically more gifted than most of the people trying to check him, but you wouldn't know it. My frustration is, again, he's got to be aggressive against Yale, against Bellarmine, and they're checking him with a dude that's 6'4", 6'5".
Yes.
Just from playing pickup, hey, you wave everybody, I got this, and go get it and go to work.
You find the mismatch.
Right. And my whole thing is, again, I'm not 6'10", but if I got somebody on me that's 5'5", 5'6", I know where I'm going.
Straight to the block.
Give me the ball, let me do something.
Mhm.
And so that's the frustration. But this is always the time of year where the lineup kind of figures itself out.
True.
And this is the time of year where uh, Emmanuel quickly went from 6-man to starter. This is the time of year where Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who's balling in the NBA, by the
Oh
way,
man, we hadn't talked about him. Yeah.
uh, kind of found his niche on that team. And so my expectation is the lineup will be set because Cal has given uh, he's given the players enough time to kind of play themselves in or out. Like, we
Mhm.
don't know what's going on in practice. We only know what we see on the court. But at this point, we know who's playable and who's not.
Yep.
And this isn't to slight any young man on the team, but I think it's fair to say that you bench yourself. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And we're to the point now, we've got to get some wins. We've got to get some positive things moving in the right direction. So
Mhm.
take care of FAMU, take care of Missouri, got to take care of Louisville, and
Yep.
then get ready to battle the heavyweights in the SEC, and that's what it's got to be about. Because we've only had two people show up every game. That's Severe and that's Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
And so the issue is Oscar knows his role, Severe knows his role, but nobody else does.
Yep.
And so we're doing a lot of figuring out on the fly. Oscar's at his best when he doesn't have to be the focal point of the offense. That
Mm.
doesn't mean he can't get his touches, but you look at last year with Grady, with Ty, with Severe, and I feel like I'm missing somebody of last.
Even a little bit of mince.
Little bit of David, like, the offense was flowing that way, right?
Mhm.
And so uh we need the other people to fill in those holes,
Yep.
whether it's hitting shots, whether it's being aggressive and driving. That's what we need. And folks, I know folks are anti-Wheeler. He did have some bad assists, and I'm not trying to excuse everything that the young man does,
Yeah.
but most of his stuff is trying to do too much. Most everybody else is not doing enough. And
Mm-hmm.
so
He'll
you
he'll
you know
overpenetrate. He'll overpenetrate or get in too deep. He'll leave his feet and not have a plan, and then try to, I
right.
better not shoot. I'm trying to make it. Yes, he had some of that Saturday.
Yeah.
Uh, Reeves has been aggressive, but is not hitting shots. They say he can create his own shot. I don't. Maybe he's not being allowed to, or whatever is going on with that. Haven't really seen him try to do anything off the dribble. He still likes to shoot.
Right.
At least Toppin's not even shooting. Reeves is still letting it fly. Reeves was letting them fly Saturday. So I mean, that's he wasn't hitting them, but he was at least shooting them. So like you said, still got
Yeah,
for all
but
days. Cal said Monday he threw a Duke Thierry's name out there. Throw him out here tonight. If you can't relax enough to throw him out there against FAMU, you're not gonna do it. So see what he can do. Maybe he can carve out a little something for himself. He's aggressive. He's the son of a former
right.
player, and he's kind of growing and athletic. We'll see what he can do. He done some good things in the Bahamas against some lesser teams, and you never know. Just throw him out there tonight because, like you said, the schedule is getting tougher. You're at Alabama, at Tennessee. You ain't got time to really be tinkering here in a few days. It's time to get it
Right.
set and go.
Right. And so there's still time, but we've got to see something. And I just want folks, even in their disappointment, to be honest. So do yourself a favor. Don't look at the replies. Don't look at the comments on anything, whether it's the charity work the team is doing, Cal talking about Franco Harris passing. Don't look at the comments.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to mute some folks. Like, I'm not going to tell people how to fan, but I don't need a 15 tweet Twitter thread every single day on how bad Kentucky basketball is. Like, as the kids say, you got to go touch grass. Like, and again, I understand that the passion of the fan base is what has kept Kentucky being Kentucky for 80 years. I get that. But I still think you can take it a little too far. Words mean things, right? And folks like, oh, Kentucky basketball has broken me. I mean, I've been disappointed when Kentucky has lost. When my 49ers lost the Super Bowl, I've sat and watched my Lakers get blown out in Game 6 of an NBA Finals. It's never broken me. You know what has broken me? When my dad died, that broke me.
Yeah.
When my first wife wanted a divorce, that broke me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I've been disappointed in sports losses, but I don't think letting a sports loss impact your day-to-day life is healthy. But anyway, again, people can fan how they want to fan. But when I see people, Cal's only had one elite team since it's been in Kentucky. For real? Just one? Like what? What are we doing? We've had no good teams since 2015. Really? I thought we've had a few, you know. But I don't know. I have to take a step back sometimes because some people love to be negative. And like I've told you before, there's a lot of people that are out on Kentucky basketball because the last couple of years have been bad, ignoring the previous 80. But when it comes to football, last couple of years have been pretty good, but they want to ignore that and look at the previous 80 when they haven't been good. So people just flip flop because people want to be miserable.
Yeah.
And it's a great, misery loves company. That saying is true for a reason because you see it. I know you do. I see it. When Kentucky loses, there's just it's a competition. Who more upset? Who's been a fan the longest? And I remember Adolph Rupp never lost a game. That's not true. We've never been like this. And I tell people all the time, everybody remembers the championship years and 38-1 and 03. We remember those great years. Conversely, we remember the really bad years. But there's been a lot of okay. There's been a lot of decent. What makes Kentucky basketball special is we haven't had the bad years. We haven't had a lot of those.
Yeah.
That's how you get to 2,000 wins or whatever we're at now. That's how you get to that point is you're pretty good most of the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to slight what anybody, but that's pretty much how it is. Just look at different seasons, non-championship seasons. There's a lot of, okay. I mean, there's just a lot of that. So Cal didn't ruin Kentucky basketball. He's not the first coach to have a stretch where it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the problem is when it comes to Kentucky coaches, and I think we said this before, nobody gets a fond farewell. Because what happens? The coach does something like win a championship, and that becomes the standard. And, I was talking to my wife, Kate, and I said, even if Cal turns this team around and gets to the Final Four this year, it won't be enough. Even if next year's class comes in and they get to that level that we all want Kentucky basketball, it won't be enough. Because there will people that won't, whatever's happened the last couple of years won't be forgivable. And to me, that's ridiculous. So, because of the financial constraints, Cal's going to get a chance to figure it out. But since Rupp aged out, Hall didn't get the opportunity to get back. We know what happened with Sutton. Patino, he left, but it wasn't warm and fuzzy when he left. And then Tubby and then Billy G. So this is not a job you grow old in.
That's true.
It literally isn't. So, but because of the financial constraints, because Cal's not walking away from $40 million.
Mm-hmm.
and UK's not going to pony up 40 mil. So we got to figure this out.
Yo,
I mean, that's the bottom line.
here we
Uh,
are.
yeah, Cal's got to go. Cal ain't leaving. And I don't care what you think about money coming in. We're not paying Cal $40 million to leave and then turn around and have to pay a new coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could be looking at 80, $85 million worth of funds. That's a lot of money. Even for Kentucky, that's a lot of money.
Yo.
I mean, I know TV money and all that kind of stuff, but I'm gonna watch tonight. I'm gonna watch every game,
Oh,
and yeah.
yeah. So we'll see what we got. You mentioned something that it did happen earlier today, and Cal being from Pittsburgh, of course, he's gonna say something about it. With the passing of Franco Harris, that was, that tweet. He was before our time, technically, but we know all
Yeah.
about. We know. I mean, he was another one that ended his career in a weird uniform. He played that last year in Seattle, so that, no doubt everybody watching him play the final 6-8 games in a Seahawk uniform that looked odd, just like when any legend changes uniforms. Jerry Rice in the Raiders and Emmitt Smith in Cardinals gear,
Yeah.
same situation.
Okay. I'm gonna interrupt you.
Oh,
Say Jerry with the Seahawks, Jerry with the trying to make it wearing number 19 for the Broncos. And I always say that because it was still a Pro Bowl guy
yeah,
in,
he was.
but I understand what you're saying as far as being in
Yeah,
the wrong
yeah,
uniform.
because that still looked weird, and seeing him lose a Super Bowl looked weird because that was the first time he ever lost one. So that was
That's correct. 3 and
that
1.
was that was odd to see, even though he was still putting up numbers. But even after the post Raider
I
was
got
even
you.
more weird.
Yeah.
Franco, my dad was a Cowboys fan. That's the only pro team we both share. I grew up a Cowboys fan, so you hate the Steelers. All those clips on NFL films from the Super Bowls that I wasn't even born yet, those two that they beat Dallas, 4-point games, both of them. I saw them so much, it's almost like I was there for it. I've seen Lynn Swan's acrobatic catches so many times. It's almost like I was there. You seen Roger Staubach hit Jackie Smith in the back of the end zone, and Jackie Smith drops the touchdown. And Vern Lundquist, he's got to be the sickest man in the United States of America. And that would have beat the Steelers. You've seen all that so many times. But these dudes were playing in the 70s before we were born, but we know all about Franco, Terry Bradshaw, Mean Joe Green, Mel Blount, Lynn Swan, John Starworth, Mike Webster.
Yeah.
No, you can rattle off all those names. And the immaculate reception against the Raiders, greatest play ever. That's going to be what he's most known for. But the dude still had 12,000 rushing yards. He was 192 yards short of the Jim Brown when he retired on the all-time rushing list. Still 15th right now, all-time rushing. Steelers are going to play the Raiders this weekend. It was the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. I thought his number was already retired.
Yeah.
They're fixing to have a whole big weekend in Pittsburgh, bring them all back. The Raiders, even bring the schedule makers knew.
Oh
Bring the
yeah.
Raiders
Yeah.
in.
You have to. Yeah.
And
You have to do
then
that.
he passes away just right before that happened. So I saw Tony Dungy tweeted out, who played with him, of course, and just hated to see Franco pass away. 72 years old. Just
Yeah.
hated. An absolute legend. I mean, no matter who you root for, the rivalry and fan side, Penn State guy, he did his thing there first before going to Pittsburgh. When you land in Pittsburgh at the airport, it's a statue of Franco Harris in the airport. That's
Yeah.
when you know you that dude, man.
That's what blew my mind, that his number wasn't already retired.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, I don't watch a lot of Pittsburgh games. I don't remember ever seeing it, but I just assumed it was retired. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but my assumption would be that it would be. Um, just like I assumed Cowboys got a bunch of retired numbers.
You got the Ring of Honor, or which they don't like the whole '88 thing. They don't really because Drew Pearson was the first one. Michael Irvin, Dez Bryant, C.D. Lamb. So as far as retiring it, but they got the Ring of Honor,
Right.
which Jimmy Johnson should be in, which is another stupid thing.
Yeah.
Jerry's pride is just being, he's just being a baby about that. But they do have a Ring of Honor thing, and I thought.
But back to Franco. Yeah, I mean, my parents weren't big fans, but they kind of like the Steelers. A lot of folks incorrectly think that I was named after Terry Bradshaw. I've had more than one person. I'm like, what? No, what are you talking about? Like, no, not named after Terry Bradshaw. Get out of here.
It makes me wonder if Bradshaw and Mean Joe and all the other guys are retired, or what? If not, what are they waiting on?
I don't know. Well, I mean, the Lakers are just now retiring George Mikan's 99.
Oh, cool.
Which I had. It always hit me when I would look at that retired list. I'm like, Mikan's not on there.
Well, yeah.
So, but every team has got their things. But
yeah.
But Franco Harris, like all-time great, made one of those plays to define the sport.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be on a highlight package, plays of the year, and this and this and this, but that has been like the play on that short list of plays. Here we are 50 years later, still talking about the ramifications and what it meant. And sometimes you make a play that's more than winning a game, and that's what got the Pittsburgh Steelers dynasty rolling.
Yeah, it really did. And we talked about, I was late to the party, but I got the little ESPN Plus. So I'm watching some of the Peyton's places. I'm watching some 30 for 30s that I missed. I'm watching Eli's places. Vince Carter's got places. And so, but one episode of Peyton's places, they attempted to reenact the Immaculate Reception. So you got Franco, you got Bradshaw, you got all those guys. Manning got a receiver and a DB, and he's throwing passes and, just, being silly and funny like he is, but trying to get that bounce and that carom. And, Bradshaw and Franco are laughing, and, it was a good episode. And it's one of those things where the young folks who had no idea who he was, if you watch it, then they gave them an idea of, whoa, this guy, wow. Because like I said, he retired when we were 6. So the young people now have no idea who he was, but it was cool of them to do the episode. And you see all these songs come back on commercials, and then they get hot on iTunes. The Fleetwood Mac with the dude, Ocean Spray. Songs come back. The same thing with Franco. It was cool that they did that and brought him back, and probably introduced him to a lot of people that didn't know anything about him.
Oh. Yeah, can you see me? Am I good?
Yeah. Yeah, you are you muted? I hear you. I hear you and see you.
Okay. All right. Yep. Here we go. All right. I don't know computer stuff, but yeah. So that was a sad news. But don't look at Coach Cal's posts about it, because people have hijacked that and make it something that it's not. So
same thing with the black uniforms. Everybody's like, "Who cares? It's signing day, or can you?" And those black uniforms, woo, they look good. They look really good.
Negative people never take a day off, man. You ever notice that wherever you work? The negative people never sick. They never take a vacation.
Yo,
every time you come in, they already there. Negative people get to work early. Like you walk in, like, oh my, now I gotta wait to go make my coffee because you got Joe in there talking whatever he's talking about. Like, and I don't look. To be, I guess, forthright, I can't allow myself to be stewing in negative emotions just for my own mental health. Me personally, I've got to really monitor to keep myself from going down in that dark pit where everybody else is. I can't do it. It's not good for me.
Yeah.
It's really not good for a lot of people, because I'm always asking the question, are you like this about stuff that really matters.
Right. Just
Well, this
can't
is an
handle.
unforgivable loss. What does that even mean? I mean, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Losses sometimes happen. And I tell people, like, oh, Kentucky basketball, it's so rough. Come on, man. I'm 45 years old, and Kentucky basketball, and the time I've been a fan, has been a net positive in my life.
Yeah.
A net like, what do you Kentucky basketball makes me drink champagne because it's like, what are we doing? And so talking to the missus, who's a Cubs fan, she is like, I guess it was after UCLA, or maybe it was after I guess Gonzaga. I don't know. But she said, I want you to know I love you. I said, yeah, I love you too. She said, because a lot of your friends follow me and I follow them, but Kentucky fans after a loss are the worst. I said, worse than Cubs fans? Worse. I said, worst is for basketball? She said, the worst. She's in all kinds of things. She's like, by far, the worst. She said, you all combine the arrogance of Yankees fans, the combativeness of Boston fans, the woe is me of Cubs fans prior to 2016. She, and she said that before, we're the Frankenstein of fan bases. We've taken some of the worst characteristics of every fan base and molded into one.
That's some good recipe, boy.
But look, being a woe is me Kentucky fan and you are in your 20s, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, I get frustrated because Kentucky basketball has been a win. Vinny, the time I was in school, you were in school, 2 championships, a runner-up, another Elite 8. Like, just that, compare it to 95% of college basketball. Just that. Just that little run. And you've already beaten 95%.
Yeah, we can't be what was me. You can't. Because there's no, Red Sox fans prior to 04, Cubs fans prior to 2016. That's some serious struggle.
That's what was me. When you've been a fan and your grandmother ain't seen a championship, that's what was me. But
Browns hadn't done nothing since Jim Brown. That's
right.
That's struggle.
That's what was me. I just I can't go what was me because it's been a net positive. And I take a step back. It's like I've told you about what the Lakers are doing. This is just the universe balancing stuff out. I've told you repeatedly, I can't be mad, man. Yeah, they're terrible now. I don't know what they're doing now, but I can actively remember 8 NBA championships in my lifetime. And ain't nobody else done that in 40 years. I think Niners fans, which the lovely missus, she signed up. She told me this week she's becoming a 49ers fan because she really likes Kittle. And she likes Purdy, and they represent in Iowa. So she's becoming a 49ers fan. I love 49ers fandom, man. We having fun. House money. Great defense. If it was Jimmy G, great. Purdy, great. Whatever, man. We playing with house money. I'm having a good old time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even with the 49ers, I've seen 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'd like another one, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
So with Kentucky fans, man, I always have to take a step back, especially after a loss. And really, for me, it used to be fun to get on during the games and be tweeting at folks. It ain't fun no more, man. Every dribble, every missed shot, it's not fun. It's not. So, but anyway,
we're about to hop off and see what happens tonight. Tell your missus, tell Kate to speaking of the Cubs, enjoy Dansby Swanson. He left my Braves and joined the Cubs, so they're getting him at shortstop and got him a nice big contract. And I think a lot of that his wife, I think, plays for the Chicago MLS team. So
Yeah,
he left
I think
playing
that
as a
factors in.
free agent. I hated to see him go. Was part of the championship team from 2021 and part of that ride for them working their way to a title. Saw him in the SEC at Vanderbilt and hate to see him leave. Hope the Cubs fans, enjoy him. Hope he plays well for Chicago and all
They
works out.
appreciate him, I think.
Yeah. So enjoy Dansby, Kate. Enjoy your new shortstop.
Yeah, but she joining the 49ers bandwagon, man. I'm rubbing off.
Yeah. So I mean, that's fair. You're a Cubs fan now, so
Yeah.
she's a is it Niner gang or faithful to the Bay, whatever y'all say, faithful to the Bay Area or something other. So yeah,
It's faithful to the Bay, Vinny.
nice little trade off that the two of y'all got going.
We started that tag when we went to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Cowboys go to the Super Bowl, they can do whatever they want to on the internet.
Yeah,
Cowboys go to the Super Bowl, it's gonna break the internet.
We need to quit giving games away against inferior teams. We need to quit doing. I saw it in Green Bay, and then they did it again in Jacksonville. When you're up 2 scores, finish these teams and quit letting them back in it.
Yeah.
But hey, and love Kelvin Joseph, but it's been a little rough for him down there in Dallas. Nobody throws at Trayvon Diggs, so you the other corner, you get a lot of work. Anthony Brown, who Cowboys fans couldn't stand, has hurt. So Kelvin Joseph, next man up, and has some moments where he kind of getting mossed and getting bullied a little bit. So I hope he can kind of hold it down over there because they're gonna keep going at him until he can show he should be out there. So I hope for his sake
but you know what it's looking like though. It's looking like it might be Cowboys Niners in the playoffs again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got a few things to tighten up over here. So I ain't saying nothing. We gotta.
It looks like it may be a repeat.
We gotta get some ducks in a row over here.
Stupid Colts, man. We trying to catch Minnesota. Look, that Jeff Saturday thing, it ain't working, man. And I was one of those people before his first game. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You can't just walk in off the street after not having done it before.
Right.
And so they beat the Raiders and all those Indianapolis fans, ha ha ha. And now it's in complete disarray.
Yes.
He's coached 5 games. He's named his 3rd different starter. Like this, and it was going to be a bad season anyway. But you can't be puffing out your chest about, Jeff Saturday. Okay, all right. Let's see how this goes. So all the look, you just can't roll in and be a coach.
No, you was just because you was an analyst and I mean former player, you're really, really good player. I don't know, really good center.
Yeah,
but you just can't. Hey, it's different stepping in that coach's chair. Good analyst. I enjoy hearing him talk with his fan, but like you said, just roll out of Bristol and show up. You just can't. No, man. No, sir.
What else in the NFL? Tom Brady. It's a wrap, dude. It's a wrap.
And he still might be in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're gonna make them, but that's a wrap, dude. Like it's a wrap. I get it. You want to keep going till your body's telling you. It's time. It's time. Go start a new family. Try to get your family, but it just doesn't look great out here, Tom Brady.
All that avocado juice has run its course, man. You done. You done. You can eat some bread now. Go ahead and start eating some bread, Tom.
Absolutely. But Uh,
And I hope Coach Prime does good at Colorado. I want Deion to do good in Colorado. So
yeah.
that too.
Well, and I've seen people talk about the Dion model. That only works because it's Dion.
Mm-hmm.
Like that doesn't work for anybody else but Dion. You can't draw any kind of parallels. You can't make any sweeping assumptions because of Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Like you just can't. He's just one of those people. Like I've seen people try to compare what Charles Barkley does. There's only one of that.
Yo.
And Dion is it's what Colorado needed because Colorado hasn't had anything since they got that fifth down back in
That 97? Was it or
oh that
later
was I think
before
that was it earlier than that?
Maybe so. Maybe
I
so.
thought that was like 91. Yeah, that was 91 when they split the championship with Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then because I want to say that was Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah.
And was it Darian Hagan? Was that the quarterback then? Yeah, because that was before Cordell Stewart got to Colorado. That's the last time I even thought about Buffalo, Colorado.
Yeah,
Cordell
Cordell
Stewart,
and Michael Westbrook and all them with the
at the
Hail
big
Mary.
house. But after that, so good for them. But
UCLA and USC are leaving. I think he can do a little. He can make a little noise in that Pac-12 once he, I think, gets his little program in place, sets roots. I think he can make a little noise out there. Because I mean, what Oregon? I don't know. Oregon and Washington might be leaving too. You know, he might just be him in Utah out there in the Pac-12, and I think he can. He can be a bit of recruit wherever he wants. Go to Texas, go to LA, and be like, if I'm going to LA, I'm like, look, man, you wanting to go to Rutgers and be in this Big Ten, you can stay home and come to Colorado and still be in the Pac-12. Hey, so I think he's gonna do all right. So.
Well, in considering he has been, see when he started playing 89.
Yeah.
Is when he started playing football, and he's been prime time or 89. Was it 89? He was were the Falcons.
I think that's a rookie year, I believe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's been prime time for a long time. It only works for prime.
Yeah.
It only works for that. But
do you think, Deion?
Yeah, I got no problem with Deion doing his thing. But what we got basketball. Well, we got to talk about transfer portals and National Signing Day, and it looks like Stoops is kind of putting things back on track. I don't know anybody's name.
Yeah.
I'll learn them when the season starts. But
go check out Twitter. I retweeted all of Stoops' tweets. He welcomed all the signees.
Yeah,
to the family. So go and see all that, and you can see all the young dudes coming to the program. Look like a good class, and look, they're doing their thing in the portal like they do every year. We kind of don't need to be surprised because they get good dudes from the portal since there's been a portal. And we got the Devin Leary kid from NC State, the Ray Davis running back from Vanderbilt who ran all over us and now joins us. Kind of like Severe Wheeler beat us at Georgia, then he transferred here next year. So when they beat you and then join you, hey, come on up here. We'll take you, Ray. So looks like it's going to set up to be good, talented players. Get the O-line back, and Cohen unofficially back, but just haven't announced it yet or whatever. But I think they all know because all these guys are coming. They wouldn't be coming if they didn't know.
Yeah,
who's gonna be called to play? So it's everything's kind of falling back in place and looking good for spring ball, and go through summer and fall. It'll be time to do it again, and looks like it's falling in line. So good stuff again, man.
Absolutely. I think the Cats will take care of FAMU. Definitely want to see some more movement on offense.
Yes,
that would be a Christmas present for me from Coach Cal.
Yes, so let's see if we can see that. Tips off here in a few minutes. Fun little quick episode. Got enough fun for next week, TB, and we'll see what they do against Missouri. SEC play starts, and Appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate the Biz3 Network. Y'all stay safe and warm up there for real. And we'll be back next week to do it all again. Hit the little outro button, and we appreciate y'all watching and listening. And we'll catch everybody next week. For TB, this is Vinny. Another episode of Cats Talk Wednesday, y'all.